Alright, it's time for another video. In Virginia, a statue is being taken down, or has been taken down, that was reflected of a time in the history of our country. And that particular moment in time was the Civil War. So that brings up the issue again of the Civil War. Why was it fought? It was fought because of slavery. Well, I have a lot of people that tell me, no, that's not accurate. The Civil War was fought for states' rights. Okay. I'm not going to dispute states' rights were an issue. So I did the research. I wanted to make sure that I knew and that I understood. Okay, all right. We can agree. The Civil War was fought over states' rights. But what states' rights was it fought over? Well, there were three. So let's talk about them. The first states' right that was critically important to the South was the right to be able to say that slavery was legal. They did not want it to be an all-encompassing law. They did not want what the North wanted. They did not want to say that slavery was illegal and leave it at that. They wanted the right to say whether slavery was legal or not legal in their states. Okay. Second, because that wasn't just it. Okay, second, the southern states wanted to be able to find an escaped slave and take them back. And if a northern state was allowed to say slavery is not legal, and therefore enacted a law that said if a slave comes to our state, they are free. Whether they were granted that freedom or they escaped, in our state they are free and they cannot be taken back into slavery. So that was the second state right that the South was fighting for. They wanted to be able to find runaway slaves and take them back. It was property. They didn't want their property to be lost. So, just to be clear, it was important that their state right was considered, even though their state right contradicted another state right, because apparently a state right that wasn't theirs didn't matter. Okay? And then third, because there was another issue that they were fighting for, they wanted the right to be able to determine their own trade with foreign countries. They didn't want the tariffs and the taxes and anything related to trade to be determined for the country. They wanted, as an individual state, to be able to determine the tariffs and whether they could trade or would trade with a foreign country, and the taxes. And for the southern states, what was it that they wanted to trade? Well, it was tobacco and corn and livestock and hemp, but primarily because the primary product of the South was cotton, which coincidentally the labor force making most all of that in any large scale amount were slaves. So the 3 states' rights that the southern states were fighting for, that they were willing to kill for, that they were willing to create a civil war to secede from the nation over, were to have slaves and to disregard other states' rights so that they could take their slaves back if they did manage to escape. So while I have pushed that slavery is the cause of the Civil War, and I have given examples in a previous video of states declaring exactly why they seceded from the nation, and how, just as an example, states would say, our position is thoroughly associated with the right to have slaves. Fine, we can word it your way. The Civil War was fought over states' rights that were all about having slaves. Let's just make sure we add that part if we want to word it that way. Thank you. I hope you have a good day.